like and subscribe.
Things are now absolutely terrible for the disrespectful IRL streamer who's now stuck in South Korea because he just got hit with another deepfake charge, which adds an additional 10.5 years of potential prison time in South Korea, which means the grand total of prison time that he's currently facing is 31 years in a South Korean prison. And he just admitted all the attention he's currently getting.
Wait, is bro in Korea again for like a trial?
Isn't even worth it anymore.
In the long run, do you think that it is worth it?
At this point, no.
I mean, come on. Congratulations.
Oh, no way, man. No way. Bro, your family disowning you, it was a sign. People hating you online and you getting banned from other websites, that's a sign. You didn't take on any of those, but like facing actual jail time, like 35 years in jail, you're now realizing it's not worth it. Wow.
Yourself. Overall, harassing strangers in public should never be incentivized in general, but massive skill issue because you simply picked the worst countries to do it. Maybe not the worst, but definitely terrible countries to be doing this streaming in, because let's be real, if he was doing this in the US, most likely he would be out on bail and he would only get a slap on the wrist for any trials that he actually went to. And I guess for some reason, this absolute moron operates like he's in the US.
Yeah, done. Good, what about you?
Good, can't complain. Currently recording this video in a business center in Weston and Boston because I'm currently traveling, but news happens.
Oh, right.
But I mean, hey, I'm only stuck in a Weston business center temporarily. Johnny is stuck in South Korea for the foreseeable future. Because I mean, right after the trial I watched, he was playing it cool. He was like, oh, nothing's really gonna happen to me. Nothing ever happens. I'll be out in no time. A couple months later, he's lost a lawyer. He's still stuck there. And
it's crazy how he just, there's no flags, man, telling him like his I don't know, it has to be like some human survival tactic. Surely you'd know these things, like, hey, maybe I'm going too far here.
Charges are dropping pretty much monthly at this point. I don't know if he's going to get let off the hook as quickly as he thought. So it now seems like reality is really starting to set in with this guy, as his only friend and financial supporter is starting to get extremely fed up with him as he's getting more and more charges. But at this point, most people know the story. Absolute moron. Goes
Why
to Japan,
even
gets in a whole bunch
support
of
him,
trouble
man?
there, ends up doing about 3 months of jail in Japan. Absolutely does not learn his lesson, goes to Israel, gets detained a bunch, gets a bunch of threats, ends up doing something that gets him permanently banned on his only platform that he actually makes good money from, which is Kick, and then he ends up...
How did he make enough money to be traveling like this? This is crazy. And bro didn't chill out.
Fleeing Israel while still permanently banned from Kick. What does he do? Absolutely still does not learn his lesson. He then goes to South Korea, rinse and repeat, does the same thing all over again. Now, facing 31 years in prison because clearly he has still not learned his lesson. And nobody feels bad for him whatsoever because he has not learned his lesson whatsoever. He's just been given way too many chances.
I hope Korea doesn't let up, man.
And pivot the way he's making content.
Throw everything at him.
He just continues to double down.
You gotta cut this stuff down at the root, man. Other streamers will realize maybe this isn't a good thing to do.
Even after admitting the
even though you should realize that anyway.
Attention is not worth it, he still wants the attention. And a lot of people have been asking me, hey, why isn't he currently arrested in South Korea? Well, South Korea apparently operates very differently, especially when it comes to foreigners. Apparently, they don't want to spend the taxpayers' money on taking care of Johnny. They want to put that burden to provide for himself on Johnny. So now, Johnny essentially is homeless, except for Hank. He is now a burden to Hank and Hank's family because I guess Hank thinks it's a good idea to continue to pay for him. Because Hank, for some reason, thinks that's the right thing to do.
Why? What is wrong with him? He's getting like the ire of like Korean people for supporting him. And his family as well. For what reason? This guy is... what? Like, are they banging? That's all I can think of, man. There's no way that a normal person would support a friend like this.
Even though, as you'll see, it's destroying his life as well. Johnny is a sinking ship and he's dragging everyone he can down with him. Because Johnny is stuck in Korea for the foreseeable future. He cannot leave Korea until all of his court cases are done, all of his time is served, and all of his fines are paid. Then he can finally leave. So until recently, he's had 5 charges that stuck and then 1 that got dismissed. 2 of them are misdemeanors. 2 of them are obstruction of business felonies, which hold a maximum of 5 years each in prison. Then you have 1 deepfake charge, which has a maximum of 10.5 years in prison. And just now, they added another deepfake charge, which adds another 10.5 years of potential prison.
That's crazy. Bro picked the wrong time to do deepfake. They just added that law in Korea. That's hilarious. I'm kind of happy he did that.
Time in South Korea. So he's now facing a maximum of 31 years in prison. And I guess after all this, he's slowly starting to realize that he's ruined his life.
I talked to my mom this week and she was like, really just like, you need to stop drinking. Like, it's ruining your life. You're 24. You know what I mean? You don't need to be
He's
drinking,
24.
doing this.
Bro is younger than me, man. He could, bro. This is crazy. Like, when you go off the rails like this, typically you just don't film yourself. I mean, this is so self-inflicted.
It's crazy because, you know what I mean? Like, alcohol is definitely the reason why I've done so many great. And it's, do not back down, never give up. It's not backing down, never giving up. It's about just bettering yourself as a person. I think I'd truly be a better person if I didn't drink alcohol.
No, that's a lie. I think, no, that's a lie. Like, there are parts where you were sober and you still decide to fly to Korea, to Japan, to Israel and do these things. There were moments in those streams where you were sober, completely sober, and you were still doing these things. You're the reason. Don't put it as a crutch, man. No, this is your fault. And even if it was still your fault, you still decided to. I mean, I've done some substances in my life, and guess who I blame for like my terrible lifestyle back then? Me, not the drugs.
Like, it doesn't bring anything better. It doesn't bring anything positive to my life. You know what I mean?
Really?
I can make good content without drinking alcohol, like, easy.
Bro, it takes like 30 years in jail, being threatened with 30 years in jail, for this guy to have an epiphany to not be an ass. Okay, dude.
When Johnny is sober, he actually has some fairly reasonable takes. But that didn't really last for too long because, according to 15 Minutes of Shame, 1 single hour later, he was already drunk streaming.
Come party with us.
It's a quiet hour, so.
Okay, you like Diddy?
Yeah, I like Daddy.
You like this song?
Wait. Outside, I couldn't hear either.
Then come here and sit with us.
Dude, you bought another one?
No, it's the same one we had.
No, it's not.
Ace it is.
You finished the last one.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I'm lying to you. It isn't one. All right, come hang. Don't with the bike. Can you dance with Diddy with me one time?
Well, why are you like drinking so much, man? Come on.
Listen to Diddy with me, please.
I don't feel bad for Hank. I don't feel bad. He should have known. You shouldn't have helped him this far. This is your fault. You regretting this, 100% your fault.
All right.
I mean, Hank here is just acting like a disappointed father, and this is Johnny's only lifeline in Korea. Why would he be actively trying to burn this bridge? I guess he just can't help himself. But the reason I say this is, in an interview, they actually admitted that Johnny has ran out of money, and Hank is his only lifeline, even though Johnny will still go on and on about saying, oh, I actually have money, and I'm not broke.
Legal mindset and these channels, they spread like fake narrative that like I'm penniless and things like this. It's not true, but that I'm destitute and this stuff for me. I've been living an okay life here. You know what I mean? I stay with Hank, so I don't really have expenses for living.
But here's the
Bro just has no awareness. He doesn't think to himself, bro. Like, what are you talking about, man? How? He's not your parent.
reality of the situation.
I have sacrificed my finances. You know, like I've actually, like Johnny ran out of money because they refused Johnny to work. So I've been actually providing for him.
He's been helping me a lot. He's been helping me with not only like legal fees and stuff like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's helped me pay for a lawyer and stuff like that. And
why? Just why though? What are you getting out of this, Hank? You're getting a terrible friend that takes advantage of you. Like, bro, there's just no way. Two oblivious people right here.
He's a great friend. Like, honestly, I respect him for that. And when I get out of here, a lot of it I do owe to Hank. He's a real man.
If it wasn't for Hank, from what we're hearing, he would be homeless. So, I mean, the least he could be is a little more grateful to Hank. Because apparently he was starving before Hank took him in.
And I actually fed him back to health, too. He was very unhealthy.
People now on the internet are saying I have, like, a gut and man boobs now because Hank has been feeding. I've been on the Hank diet, and Hank has been feeding me so well.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Yeah, bro. Thank you for not letting me starve. Bro fist for that one. But apparently things are so bad that Hank, he's being supported by his family. And his family is threatening to cut that off because he keeps on funneling that money back to Johnny.
I risk my family not paying my tuition to help Johnny because I believe that helping Johnny was right thing to do.
Why?
Pretty much.
His mom hates me.
Okay, so I thought it was like his family, as in like he has a wife and kids, but apparently not. He's got a tuition. That means he's in school. Damn, that is, as a parent seeing it from that view, yeah, you don't want to, you just don't want your son hanging around with a loser like Johnny, dude.
Your mom hates you, right?
Yeah.
Good, I would
I
hate
hate you. My grandparents hate you.
And you said, despite all that,
Despite
he's
all
my
that.
friend, and wrong is being done to him, and I'm going to make sure that he gets out of Korea safely.
What wrong? There is no
I
wrong.
mean, bro,
Why would you ever destroy your own life and ruin
Yeah.
your standing with your own family over Johnny?
So he's got both a public defender that was originally covering his his Western District case, and a private lawyer, which was on the East, which is now registered in the West. We had a leak. Ramsey gave a leak about who this lawyer was. We now know officially the lawyer is Choi Gwang-ho. He is a tax attorney. He has not been inside a criminal courtroom in 20 years.
That's
Inside a criminal
hilarious.
courtroom. His whole big legal strategy was, we're going to settle with Bong Bong. We're going to settle with the female victim. We're going to pressure her. And they wanted to threaten her
What?
because she showed the image on her stream as well. But she showed it to show how mad she was about it, being like, this is wrong. It literally backfired in his face. When he tried to blackmail
Oh.
the female victim, the prosecutor probably saw this and said, oh, hell no, we're going to double down and give you another one. And by the way, there will be no settlement on that one because it's with the Korean YouTubers that you are literally attacking and threatening with defamation.
I mean, the issue with Johnny is most of what he says is hot air. Unfortunately for him, the judge and prosecutor might not know that because he's made a bunch of threats and he's said a lot of stupid stuff. So it's safe to say this backfires tremendously on the
Yeah, that is a good reason. Like, I do see it as a good thing. Like, initially thinking about it, like the judge and a court itself might not be on the online sphere. They might not get the nuances, and they get it in like black and white. This is how they'll get it. Like, their words, their videos, and stuff like that. That they won't know if there's inside jokes or whatever. I see it as a good thing because it allows them to be objective as possible. But I also see it in the fact that you can read transcripts like really badly. When words are written down, it looks worse than how like it might actually be. Because someone might say it a different way to you just reading it out in a monotone voice in front of the court, in front of the judge. But I think it's just an overall like good thing.
Because let's be real, all he had to do after he got caught, even after making all the mistakes in Japan and all the mistakes in Israel, and I guess all the mistakes in Korea, once they charged him formally, all he had to do was shut up, apologize, be
No way it get
respectful,
worse.
and he probably would have gotten left off with somewhat of a slap on the wrist. Instead, he does the polar opposite. He disrespects the judge,
right,
the
right, right. This is
prosecutor, the victims, the people covering it, and the Korean citizens. That's not going to give you any leniency with a judge. I mean, the dude is just playing the worst cards possible as a social experiment to see how the Korean justice system will handle that. But for every day that passes, it seems like the penalty is going to be harsher and harsher. Then to make things worse for himself, apparently, he lost a lawyer.
Just today, we had the public defender step down. Now that is likely, they were actually removed.
Bro, I'd step down, man. I'd step down. But actually, wait, removed from the case. That's, what did he do? What?
From the case. That means they weren't the ones who petitioned it. It was the court that did it, probably because he no longer qualifies for a public defender. When you have a private attorney, that typically disqualifies you from having a public defender. So it appears that he was disqualified from that.
So now the case will be even more expensive for Johnny or Hank, depending on who's footing the bill here. And Legal Mindset also issued a correction here saying the attorney has actually been to court 5 times in the last 20 years, or at least 5 times. But apparently he's lost all 5 of those cases. So Johnny has now hired a guy who's gone 0 for 5 over the last 20 years, and he's still acting up during his trial. I mean,
No, this is his year. This is his year. Yeah, surely.
the way Johnny is acting, you would have thought, hey, he hired some big league attorney with this big boy crypto money he has. But the reality is different. And as I stated previously, he's now admitting that it's not worth it anymore. he's banned on Kick. That was the platform he could actually make decent money on. And they're most definitely not going to take him back. And we learned that from Ice Poseidon.
In the long run,
What if Hank has been sick and tired, told his family, don't worry, I'm gonna make this right for you, okay? I'm gonna make this right for you. Let me destroy Johnny. And this is just a whole elaborate backstab.
do you think that is worth it?
At this point, no.
So now Johnny is permanently banned on Kick. He's also permanently banned from Patreon, apparently, and Airbnb. So it's hard for him to make a living streaming. It's harder for him to collect donations. And it's hard for him to live somewhat cheap, because Airbnb is a good way to live cheap when you're long-term staying abroad. So his options here are Hank's place or expensive hotels.
All right, so I was expecting a bit more. I thought the court case was going ahead and stuff. How could you not read these flags, man? These flags are like, hey, you should probably stop what you're doing. Thank you very much for making it this far. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord, follow me on Twitch, both linked down below. Special thanks to all my channel members. See ya.